Hi, are you with your perfect partner? The whole topic of relationships is a touchy one. When we consider that each partner in a relationship is roughly 50% of the time really into the relationship and maybe 50% of the time not into the relationship, we look at those when we put those two together and we find that really 25% of the time is when we really get along really great, and 25% of the time when we both are really miserable and want to get out. So how do we explain that when it comes to astrology? Well, there are many different factors that go on when it comes to astrology as well as attraction. And I think first and foremost, it's really important to say that while I will be speaking of some things here in general forms, you may be that one exception to the rule or one of the 3 or 5 or 10 exceptions to the rule. But for the most part, people tend to run along a certain way. So the real key, actually all the planets are really important. So when we consider that each of the planets in our solar system represent a particular need, watch one of my previous videos to find out more about that. You will find that each of these planets are in relationship with each other within a relationship. So that means that your Mercury, which is the way that you speak and communicate and move and process information, and the way your partner or your spouse's way of processing, communicating, moving, and thinking could be in 2 entirely different signs. In fact, if they're in what we call squared to one another, meaning that they are in the same modality, usually, but meaning they're just like in a kind of an irritating placement with one another, it can just seem like it never seems like the communication is quite right. But then you might have your Venuses in a really complementary placement with one another, and that means that there could be really loving, juicy, fun energy with one another. Or what I find what happens a lot of times is when 2 people of the same sun sign meet one another, and then it's like fireworks go off, they get all excited, they want to go and set up their marriage registry over at the local department store, and they are just ready to shack up, and then a month later it's all over. Well, of course, because we often get bored by being with the same thing all the time, and when we're with someone who has the same sun sign, it means they're going to be really shining out. And so some ways, especially for certain signs like the fire signs, there might be a little bit of a competition in that sort of a regard. However, if one of you has the moon in one sign and the other has the sun in that same sign, that is a very complementary, very supportive way. It's like yin and yang coming together, 2 halves coming together. There's a real sweet comfort. And so when we really consider if we are with our perfect partner, the answer is often no, because the truth is, to find someone who's going to match up entirely perfectly with our own energetic system, our astrological layout, our soul, our personality, all those factors, is going to be highly unlikely. There are going to be certain areas in each relationship that require adjustment. And while a lot of people say that it's important that when you're in a relationship that there's work to be done, I think the real key issue with relationship is being present. The more you're able to be present to one another, the more you're able to listen to one another and find out what the differences are and what the similarities are, and find ways to create bridges where there are challenges. That's really the key. Astrological consultations really help in that manner. I really love doing couples chart readings because it is so empowering to be able to tell each partner that their behaviors and their ways of being are the way they are, and that each of them needs to learn and find acceptance for one another in that regard, or they need to simply move on. My name is Michael Bartlett, Master Metaphysical Astrologer. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and please look at my other videos and learn more about astrology. You'll find it can really change your life. Thank you so much and have a great day.